Well, it's Friday. It's breezy, ever so slightly too breezy, ever so slightly too cold. March day. It's a day in March. But today is also pretty cool because for us, it was New Fence Day. I managed to nurse our privacy fence along for 13 years. It was ancient. The guy replacing the fence said that I said, well, it's at least 13 years old. And he said, no, it's much older than that. He thought it was about 45 years old. All of the posts had broken on the bottom. Everything was being held up with giant T-stakes and rope and screws and things that I boarded across it to keep it up. And it's amazing. They came this morning, these dudes, they showed up at 8 sharp and they were done in like 5 hours. It was amazing.
We didn't get like a perimeter done. It was only one section that has a gate.
Yeah, and a corner on one side. But anyway, it's extremely exciting, that we have the pride of new fence ownership.
And we have the nicest fence on the street.
Oh yeah, everybody else's fences look like that.
Okay.
It's really, really nice. Well, I don't know. I guess we got to get to it. Let's do that wrist check. Sabrina is wearing the Rima. Really, really cool watch. Valju. Is it 22 or 23? Or is that 72 or 73? That's what I get for trusting my brain. Anyway, it's a beautiful watch, a lovely movement, basically the same movement as what's in a Paul Newman Rolex. Okay, and I am wearing, I looked at this watch, I was rearranging my shelves, and I pulled this thing out, and I'm like, it's such a nice watch. 7548, 7009, North American on the Z199 bracelet. I forget, what is the date on this one? I can't read it.
It's bigger on your phone.
It is? Oh, yeah, no, I see it. It's January 1984. January 1984. I haven't worn this one for a while, and it's a really nice watch. Such a clean design. So cool. The last thing we need to do for the fence is she wants to get one of those dome things, that the clear plastic domes that you can put at dog face height in the fence so Rocket can look out of his fence, because now he can't. He used to have all kinds of the thing was like boards were falling off all the time, and every time the wind would blow, cracks would open. So he had all kinds of places he could stick his nose out and see people, and it's hermetically sealed now. So I don't think we're gonna have to come up with a plan B for Rocket.
Mm-hmm. Poor Rocket.
Poor Rocket.
Okay, mail call. Lou DiGiacomo. Hi, Spencer and Sabrina. I have been a Seiko fan for nearly 60 years and proud to say that I have a vintage Seiko for every week of the year.
Wow. I
very much enjoy your review, repair, and almost all of your mail call videos. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, thank you for watching them. I'm not surprised that we had a few duds, but we do our best.
I have learned much, thank you. Sorry to continue the Rdunae theme. However, agreeing wholeheartedly with nearly all of your Rdunae reviews. I do not find the dial of the watch to be atrocious. I have the 6105 8000 and the 8110 Rdunae non-AR version that my wife got for me in China, and side by side with the vintage Seikos of the same model I have, I see little profound differences in the dial. The indices are a bit bigger and shinier, but not more than a distinction without a difference. I haven't had any difficulties with either of the watches and enjoy wearing them and not worrying about knocking them around, washing the car, or out fishing for the day or longer.
I agree, and they're completely fit for purpose. You can wear them without worry. They're at a price point that it's not really that important. It has the Suis styling, which is really great. As for, I would never call the dial atrocious. It is what it is. My problem is that, because I really focused on adhering to the canon of Seiko. So it makes one's thinking about this kind of stuff, these design elements, kind of inflexible, because there's a right way and a wrong way. Is it right or is it not right? And you're not really thinking creatively or, moving stuff around. It's supposed to be right, and it's inflexible, and I'll definitely grant you that. But that's the criteria I usually come from, because so much of what I do is based on, originality. What we care about with a lot of these watches is it original, and so you're always, by habit, scanning everything to see if it's right or if it's wrong or if it's in place or if it's incorrect, because it's a major factor. Is it original? So every time I look at a Rdunae, for me personally, because of my training and my experience, I'm always looking to see what's not, what's not looking like it had been made by Seiko. And so it jumps out at me, boom, just like that. So it's a factor of my self-training.
Okay. Rag and Bone Man 63, who wasn't a fan of Mr. Hackman. I'd seen the picture of him wearing that Seiko at the book signing, and people were saying it was a 7548 700B or whatever. So I found one on eBay and bought it immediately. I just wanted to kind of pay my own tribute. Now I find I bought the wrong watch. That'll teach me to do my research properly.
Well, I mean, in your defense, we didn't know what the exact model was until like last week or the week before last. So we didn't know. And there's absolutely nothing wrong in owning a 7548. As you saw in the segment, I'm wearing a 7548 right now. And I was looking at it last night when I put it on, and I'm like, this is such an awesome tool watch. There's such great watches. And while the 5H, Gene Hackman's 5H, it's a good watch. It's a good watch with a metal movement. It's jeweled. Well, no. There is, I guess there is a but. It's a metal movement, jeweled. It's hideously overbuilt for a quartz movement. But the 7548 is a whole nother level of existence over the 5H, as good as the 5H is for a quartz movement. And both of them, of course, blow the 7N away from the other side of the river. But man, you own a 7548, appreciate it. They're great watches. And now you get to look for the other one, look for the 5H. I have some 5H news coming up, by the way. I have a little video. I've been making that project watch of mine. Remember, for those of you who saw that video, I have managed to find, I believe, everything I need to build that watch. And I have the movement apart and serviced that I got. And not serviced, it's apart and clean. I need to service it this afternoon, not before I'm done with this video. But I'm going to have a functional Gene Hackman. I even found a handset. I'm going to have functional Gene Hackman by dinner time.
I wasn't listening. I'm so sorry. I was
That's
reading
okay.
ahead.
No, that's fine. No, read ahead. Okay. Honey, you're going to hear enough about this Gene Hackman anyway. Besides,
is this the Seiko one? Or
yep, no,
what you already technically... Which one is it?
This is the Seiko one I had.
No, I'm saying like you were saying that Gene Hackman was the other watch, and now it's...
You have the Gene Hackman Hoyer, okay, and you have the Gene Hackman Seiko.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we had...
Right, and so I went from 0 Gene Hackman watches to being to I will have 2 Gene Hackman watches. I have I've had that one in parts and pieces for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, long time. I have an NOS rotating ring I could throw on it. It's a pity that the dial printing is damaged, but the watch was flooded. But I'll bring it back. I'll have one, and it'll be cool.
Dr. Tixon, 1965 Pontiac. My dad had one. The rear tires had covers that hide half of the tires. The dashboard and the divider between the driver and front passenger had a lot of wood. Spent many hours sliding in the back seat when I was a child, as my dad quickly took turns while driving, and we didn't use seat belts during that time.
Yeah, this is, by the way, this is a comment about a really quick section of video I made about some people who live down and across the street who had brought home a project car, and I just did a super quick orbit with my camera talking around the car because I didn't want to linger over somebody else's car. But I didn't know what it was, and it was a 1965 Pontiac, And that's, a lovely anecdote. Man, those bench seats, those forward bench seats, they were convenient.
Tech Talk 6105 dials, an in-depth look at 6 examples. Pure Blood 8307. How do you tell the date of production on the serial number?
Oh, the way that this works, the short answer is that it goes then like 4-1. This watch, the serial, the first 2 numbers are 4-1. So we know that it's going to be the 4th year of the decade, rough decade, in which these watches were basically produced. Seiko typically doesn't really produce watch models for more than a decade. There are exceptions, but typically they will have made a particular watch in a chunk of time. These were made from basically 1978 to 1988, roughly 1987. So we know then that it has to be in that range. So it's 4 is the first number, and so we know it's 1984. The second number is 1, and that is for January. So it's January 1984 is when this watch was made. So that second digit is the months. For October, November, December, you have O for the 10th month, or O for October, and then N, and then D. And so that's how you do it.
It's a name that's one word. I'm trying to figure out how to...
I'm thirsty. I'm just telling you, I keep drinking water. I'm thirsty.
Renato Costello 48. I recently bought a 6105 8110, and what almost made me hesitant to get it was the great condition bezel insert and that lume overflow on the markers. Good to know that's common on some of these dials. By the way, I bought a Type 2 crystal from you a few days back, and I look forward to see how it looks after I get my watch back from service. Great attention to detail on your packaging.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We our packaging, we like to, when you get something in the mail, I feel like it should be kind of like a present. It should have care. You should feel excited about being able to unwrap it and see that there's care was taken in putting the package together. I personally, when I package my watches, I do them, and I want to have it so it looks nice when it comes open. So thank you for that. I appreciate hearing that you approved of what we did, or what she did actually.
Valentech time. Hello, Spencer. Nice video as always. Did you notice that your first watch with the beige strap has a small M as it is with your client watch, while your other 3 watches have a capital M, but in small size? Does it tell you anything?
It tells me that I'm not very observant, because I didn't notice. Because when he said capital M, I wasn't thinking font, I was thinking size. And they're still the half height. And so I didn't actually look that closely at those. So I want to actually put in a segment where I look at them again. And maybe I can come up with something to say. But honestly, I don't think I have any knowledge to bring to it other than the knowledge that I need to know more. But I'll make a segment. Okay, here are all 4 watches. And again, I feel kind of silly. More a little silly that I didn't think about fonts at all. Willing to blather on and not knowing anything. Okay, there is a lowercase m. It is round topped. It's an early dial. That is a capital dial. It's a resist. It's a later dial. 1970 Feb, June 68. Capital M, resist. 1977, January 77. Capital M, resist. This one is of indeterminate year, but is a resist dial, and it's the capital M. Yeah, It's a long story. We got those there. And now we've got these two dials. This is a, what is the date on it? Come on out. This watch was really water damaged. Gosh, I can't even really make out. Well, it's a hollow stamped dial, I know that. And it's a capital M. And we got this. Capital M, again resist, and it's a hollow stamp, May 73. So, based on this, it looks like every resist I have is a capital M, and the only proof I have is the lowercase m. So, based on the limited information available to me, I would have to say that it is I bet you anything that this is a solid blank dial. I don't remember. But if it was a Dynie-made dial, an early Dynie-made, it would be on a solid Dynie blank, and perhaps there's a correlation with the lowercase m. These resists are probably all hollow stamped, but again, I don't know without taking them apart. Really, really interesting question. I wish I had more information, but that's what I got. And we're back.
4DT Seiko 63097049 evaluation. Joseph Stewart, there's something so satisfying about the aesthetics of this movement inside these cases when looking at them with the case back off. I think that this movement, along with the 7548 movement, are my favorite movements to both look at and watch the great Sir Spencer Klein take apart and put back together.
Hopefully successfully. I love looking at movements. I love looking at them. I wish I had display case backs options for every possible watch I own. If I could look at the movements, I mean, even this, I would like to see it. I love seeing the movements. I have one 6139 that's got a display case back. It's my 6139 7010 because I didn't have the correct original case back for it. And I was like, well, you know, I could put any random one on there, but I'm going to know it's not right and it's going to annoy me. So why don't I make it really not right and put a display case back on there? And I did, and it's cool. It looks so nice because it's a red text 21 jewel. And it's just lovely to look at. I think they're cool. I thought I would put in a real quick segment showing that watch. I built this watch out of a complete wreck, and it didn't have a case back when I got it. Seriously, this was a wreck. But I had no case back, so I put a display back on it. Isn't that pretty? I wish they could all look like this. I think the movements are just so nice. Especially these with the red text on the winding bridge and the balance bridge. Just a nice watch.
4HJ, 2 Seiko, 6139 600X is to consider. Dr. Tixon, do you have any idea why Seiko made a change of manufacturing between the earlier movements from 1969, which had a 21 jewel, versus the 1975, which had a 17 jewel? Would you consider the 21 movement a superior movement compared to the 17 jewel movement?
Yeah, I would, because it has some of the extra jeweling is for diafix lubrication for the escape wheel, and so it's definitely an improvement. One of the other jewels that it has that's an pardon me, one of the extra jewels it has is the lower jewel for the minute counter wheel pinion. It's in the center wheel bridge, and it's a Preston jewel. I don't think that that's really necessary so much, but the diafixed settings are very nice. Let me see the beginning of his question. I think I had to, do you know what the Seiko made between the earlier movements from 69? The difference is Seiko ran 21 jewel versions of that movement all the way through. They were only for Japanese domestic market, pretty much. There were a couple models that were Australasian that had it as well. You see, sometimes I can't bring a model to mind right off the bat, but they did have some non-JDMs with the 21 jewel, but just not many. And they had basically those movements were put out and produced simultaneously throughout the run.
What?
Nothing.
I was playing Boggle. 4AB Seiko 6139 6000 proof restoration. Magic Mike's watches. Is it possible that the 6139 Severe is the blue 6139 6000 proof with notched case and two-piece sweep? I would love to hear what you think is the true Severe.
Well, I'll make another little segment, but with the caveat that I have no idea.
Well, they're good at, you guys all seem to bounce ideas off of each other, so it's like you throw out something in a video and people throw something out in the comments, and
Yeah.
you know, it works out.
Yeah, so I'll make a little segment. I'll show both watches and talk about them a little bit, and so I'll put that in here. This is a picture of Severe's wrist. This picture is early 1971, so we are already pretty limited in what it could have been. Early 71, it's going to be a proof. It's going to be a resist, probably at that time. That's just a guess, but we have other clues. I can't see the bracelet. That sucks, but I can see right here. There's a crown cutout right there. This is a notch case. So that means it's only one of two models. It's 6139 6000 or it's a 6139 6009, the North American variant. They looked exactly the same. The only thing is that the 6009 is a resist notch and the 6000 is a proof notch. So it's one of those two. Without getting a clearer picture that shows what this exact dial text says, I wouldn't be able to say. It's a matter also of where did he buy the watch. If he bought the watch in North America, it would have been a 6009. If he bought the watch overseas, it would be a 6000. I don't know. It's real interesting. I would personally be delighted if it turned out to actually be the 6139 6009, because I have a personal connection to that model. I'm the person that discovered that I'm the person that proved that the model existed by finding an advertisement that had a picture of it. Prior to that, the old timers said that it was a fake model, that it didn't exist. And so we know now it existed, and I would think that'd be pretty neat if that was what was on his wrist. So I would say either right now can have that name of being the Severe, but until we get more information. If we find that it's a proof, we know. If we know if it's a resist, we know. But we'll find out, maybe, someday. Okay, so since we're on the subject, I figured I'd dig these out. I unfortunately don't have a 6139 6009. I have dials for them and parts for them. I could probably make one, but I don't have a complete and original one at this time. So we're going to pretend. But anyway, this, as you saw from that picture, there's that crown cutout. Silly gloves, get on there. There's the crown cutout with the thin two-piece hand, proof marking. This is completely original and unrestored, by the way. And it's from that same period, February 1970. This is the original watch the chiclet bracelet. This is the original one. I bought this on eBay like, oh man, it's 2006. And I've never done a thing to it. One of these days I'll service it and wear it. So that's with the early type with the crown cutout and the lower case. This is the next one. This is proof marked, but it's a 6001, which has the B movement and the thicker case and a one-piece sweep as of right now, but I believe that's a service sweep. And then you have the true no text. And this is correct. This is exactly what they look like on its taper bracelet. Boy, that is completely original. Those buttons are stuck hard. What a beautiful watch. That's a nice watch. Okay.
Ghetto cabbage. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for all the good work you do. I've probably binged all your videos through 5 years ago.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Boy, you must be really tired of the sound of our voices. Killer cure, I guess. Anyway.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow, 5 years of our videos? Well, we've got more years than that.
I hope so.
You know, it's interesting. I don't know. It's just, you know, we have a little teeny tiny measure of immortality.
I suppose we do.
You know, we'll be able to hear our voice for many years to come. Okay, well, that's it. I don't really have anything else going on. I'll pull the ripcord now. I'll go and make those segments that I said I was going to insert that you will have already seen. I haven't seen them yet because I haven't made them. I hope they were worth your time. I'll do my level best, and that's it. And then I have to think about making my other video about my Gene Hackman 5H26. Okay, thanks, folks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.